Hello, and thank you for taking the time to review our outpatient program guidelines. We will be reviewing these by video. You will be receiving some attachments, and then you will receive a quiz just to make sure that you have reviewed these full policies and procedures. The first piece is that the full policy and procedure manual is in Silvercare's office for your perusal at any time at Suite 105. There is an organizational chart which is available to see the hierarchy of the agency. Silvercare has a full list of clients' rights and responsibilities that are given to clients when they are first seen. The client signs that they have reviewed these in admission consent form. The client will also receive a copy of the company's complaint and grievance procedure so they know how they can file a complaint. HIPAA and confidentiality are of utmost importance to this agency. It is expected that each clinician review the HIPAA privacy notice form attached to this email and indicate in their response in the quiz their full understanding of Silvercare's policies in regards to confidentiality. When a client is being seen off of the main site, such as in school sites, it is preferred that all documentation is done on Therapy Boss so as to avoid any transfer of confidential documents. If there is a handwritten document, such as an intake, best practice would be to scan it through the Google Drive app scanner and shred the document. However, if a client must transfer a handwritten document, it is expected that they keep it in a locked box that is with the clinician until it is deposited in Silvercare's main site. Or they can also mail it to us in a sealed envelope. Stamps and envelopes are available at Silvercare's main office. Should you have a client that has more than one provider, we encourage and request that you retain communication with the other provider throughout the length of treatment at the amount of 2 times monthly. When terminating with a client, please choose a visit type called discharge and make sure to complete a discharge summary. This visit type will require both a follow-up note for the visit as well as a discharge summary of the entire process. Conflicts of interest include but are not limited to familiar relationship, any person of financial relationship between client and clinician, or any gift given to a clinician that is accepted. Any clinician that feels that they are having an issue with a conflict of interest should let the agency know immediately. Should a clinician be found to have engaged in any kind of inappropriate relationship with a client, they should be terminated immediately and there shall be written documentation sent to the licensing board. Professional conduct. It is best practice to discuss the limits of confidentiality at initial appointments as well as the possible release of information within the team. However, every worker should make attempts to gain the client's permission before releasing information, even to allowed members. Staff members are not to have their own relatives, friends, or other clients in the car with clients. There cannot be any overnight with a client. You are not allowed to bring a client back to your house. Never leave the client unsupervised at any time. Never physically restrain a client. Follow all legal policies with the client. Do not smoke while you are working with them. Do not drink or allow a child to drink alcohol while you are working with them. Do not purchase lighters or anything illegal for the child that you are working with. Under no circumstances can you bring your child out of the state without the guardian's permission. This includes going to New York or Philadelphia. Inform the guardian where you are taking the child to ensure permission. Any recreational activities must have a clinical indication. Do not run personal errands when you have a client with you. Do not administer medication under any circumstances. There is a separate video for documentation that you will be sent to review. Please remember that best practice is to use the green sync button on your Therapy Boss app after you finish any document. However, at minimum, the sync button is due with all required paperwork each Monday at 2 p.m. Each client requires an admission consent form, a plan of care, an intake, and then a follow-up note for each visit. Instructions on each of these are in the documentation video. Each encounter must individually substantiate the services provided and concisely document the information required to demonstrate the care provided. Daily progress notes should be individualized to the specific session. Make sure you are capturing the essence of that session. Any recreational play activities must have a documented clinical reason within the scope of your job description. If staff needs guidance during business hours, Silvercare agency should be contacted immediately and the call shall be triaged with Rena Whiteman, Program Director, if needed. If the emergency occurs after business hours and guidance is needed, staff shall contact 911. The below is a list of incidents that require reporting if such occur during or in relation to the provision of services. Injury to staff, accidental or intentional. Injury to client or family, accidental or intentional. Alleged abuse, alleged neglect, alleged exploitation, alleged assault, suspicious or unexplained injury, unexpected, sudden, or unusual death. Supervision is always offered, available, and encouraged, even for those who do not require it. Cultural competency. As per Medicaid guidelines, we have included the rules and regulations on cultural competency. It is Silvercare's policy to have all clinicians sensitive to all cultures that we come across. A large part of our client base is the Orthodox Jewish culture, and we ask for sensitivity in all areas in regards to expectations and norms. A good rule of thumb is always ask, don't assume, in any culture or issue that comes up within a culture. Please review the attached training on cultural competency. Thank you for watching.